Assalamu alaikum, my dear viewers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, English with Saif Qureshi. Dear viewers, as you know, we are going to start the drama Othello written by William Shakespeare. So, we have discussed Shakespearean age or Elizabethan age or Renaissance age in the last video. So, I will suggest you to watch that very video before starting the explanation of the text of the drama. Today, our topic is who was William Shakespeare? We are going to understand the introduction of William Shakespeare. Why? Because this is very important before starting the text of the drama. We have to understand the life of William Shakespeare, as this is very vital thing in this regard. So we will discuss who was William Shakespeare, what what were the works of William Shakespeare, okay, how was the life of William Shakespeare, okay, his career, okay, his impact on English literature. So before without wasting the time, so let's take a start. William Shakespeare, who was born in 1564 and died in 1616, was an English playwright, poet, and actor, widely regarded as one of the greatest writers in the English language and world's preeminent dramatist. He is often called the Bard of Avon or simply the Avon. Why? Why he is called the Bard of Avon? Bard refers to an ancient Celtic poet or musician, reflecting Shakespeare's exceptional literary skills. Avon comes from the River Avon, which runs through Stratford upon Avon, Shakespeare's birthplace and hometown. The nickname honors Shakespeare's artistic genius and connects him to his roots in Stratford upon Avon. So it means that why he is called why he is called the Bard of Avon, because Avon refers to the river Avon that runs through the England. Okay, that runs through the England's Stratford upon Avon, and Stratford upon Avon is the birthplace of William Shakespeare. It flows through the England. Okay, so the bard refers to the Celtic poet or musician. He was an exceptional musician. Okay, he was an extraordinary musician. So when we say that William Shakespeare is the Bard of Heaven, it means that William Shakespeare is the greatest, is the exceptional, is the extraordinary poet of England. Okay, so as this river Avon flows through the England, okay, so we say that William Shakespeare is the Bard of Heaven, means he is the exceptional, preeminently the greatest writer of the England. Why? Because this river flows through the England. So hope so you got this very point. The next thing is that life and career. So we will discuss life and career of William Shakespeare. Shakespeare was born in Stratford upon Avon, as we have discussed, Warwickshire, England, to John and Mary Shakespeare. His father was a glove maker and a prominent figure in the town. His father was a glove maker, okay? Shakespeare received a good education, but there is no record of him attending the university. So this is the main thing, is that Shakespeare received his education, but the main postulate is that the main thing of the William Shakespeare's life is that there is no record of him whether he attended the university or not. There is no record of it. The next thing is that marriage. At 18, Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway, who was 8 years his senior and pregnant at the time. They had three children, which means William Shakespeare and Anne Hathaway, as a wife and husband, they had three children. The first is Susanna, the second is Hamnet, and the third is Judith. So these were the three children. The next thing is that Shakespeare's early career is not well documented, but it is believed that he worked as an actor and playwright in London in the late 1580s and 1590s. So he worked as an actor and playwright in London in 1580s and 1590s. He was a member of the Lord Chamberlain's Men, a theater. This was a theater, okay? Theater company. A theater company later known as King's Men. So, what we have got? We have got that he was he was a playwright and an actor in the company, and the company's name was Chamberlain's Men. This company later known as King's Men. So here in this company, William Shakespeare worked as an actor and a playwright. Now the next thing is that works of the William Shakespeare. Shakespeare wrote at least 38 plays, 38 dramas, and 154 sonnets. Okay, sonnet is a kind of poem. So he has wrote 38 plays and 154 sonnets, and his works includes tragedies, comedies, romances, histories, poetry. So these were the works of William Shakespeare. If we talk about his tragedies, means what were the names of the main tragedies written by William Shakespeare? So Titus, Andronicus, Romeo and Juliet, Julius Caesar, Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth, Antony and Cleopatra, and Timon of Athens. So these were the tragedies written by William Shakespeare. The next is comedies. The Two Gentlemen of Verona, The Taming of the Shrew, The Comedy of Errors, Love's Labors Lost, A Midsummer's Night's Dream, The Merchant of Venice, Much Ado About Nothing, Twelfth Night, As You Like It, and The Temple. So these were the famous comedies written by William Shakespeare. And the next thing is that history plays. Uh, you know that this is oftenly said that if you want if you want to know about history, okay, so you don't have to you don't have to deep delve in the history. Why? Because if you want to read history, you have to read the plays of William Shakespeare, history plays of William Shakespeare. Why? Because you will you will indirectly know the history of that very time. So we will discuss history plays. The first history play was the two tetralogies, Henry VI Part 1, Henry VI Part 2, Henry VI Part 3, and Richard III and Richard II, Henry IV Part 1, Henry IV Part 2, and Henry V. So these were the history plays. The next is romances. Romances, Pericles, Princess of Tyre, Cymbeline, The Winter's Tale, and The Tempest. So these were the romances written by William Shakespeare. The next genre of literature that was written by William Shakespeare was poetry. In poetry, sonnets and other poems such as Venus, Adonis, and the Rape of Lucrece. There were many other poems written by William Shakespeare, like All the World's a Stage. Okay, this is very important and a very famous poem. So, like this, he has written many other poems as well. So, from as far as the genres of literature, as far as the works of the William Shakespeare's, uh, we have discussed that he has written tragedies, he has written comedies, written romances, history plays, and poetry. The next postulate is impact and legacy of William Shakespeare in the English literature. Shakespeare's impact on literature and the English language is immense. He introduced new words and phrases. Many words and phrases he coined are still in use today. For example, in one of his plays, he wrote to be or not to be. Okay, as far as the Othello is concerned, one of the character says, I am not what I am. Okay, so these were the famous and important phrases that are still used today. And in another play, he wrote, fair is foul and foul is fair, fair is foul and foul is fair. So these are the phrases that are still used today. The next is influenced the development of English literature. His works have inspired countless writers, poets, and playwrights. What does it mean? It means that his works are very influential. Okay, due to his works, because of his works, many poets, writers, and playwrights got inspiration from the William Shakespeare's genres of literature, from the William Shakespeare's works. The next is shaped the English language. His writing style and use of language helped establish English as a literary language. It means that he was a very best writer of his time. He was a very great dramatist of the time, okay, of his time. So his writing style was very impressive. His use of language was very extraordinary. Therefore, he became a prominent figure in his time as a dramatist. The next thing is that continue to be widely performed and studied. What does it mean? His plays are still performed and studied around the world, and his influence can be seen in many areas of art and culture. It means that his dramas, his genres of literature, his plays are very influential. His plays are written by him very artistically, very masterfully, and his plays are performed even today in in the in like so his dramas are still performed in theaters and studied all around the world. The next is Shakespeare's legacy extends beyond literature to theater and performance. His plays have been performed for centuries, and his influence can be seen in many areas of theater and performance. The next is film and cinema. Many of his plays have been adapted into films, and his influence can be seen in many areas of cinema. What does it mean? It means that many of his plays have been adapted in films. Means there is an imitation of his plays in the films. Okay, and his influence can be seen in many areas of cinemas as well. The next is music and art. His works have inspired countless musical compositions, artworks, and other creative works. So, what we have what we have understood now We have understood that what were the what were the influence of what was the influence of William Shakespeare in on the English language and literature. Okay, so in conclusion, William Shakespeare was a towering personality in English literature and theater, and his impact on the English language, literature, and the art is still felt today. So he he is still famous today due to his remarkable works. Okay, so no doubt, indeed, he was a great poet of his time. Here I want to quote a very famous poet, John Keats. John Keats writes, if poetry does not come to a poet as leaves to a tree, it is better not to come at all. So, what does he say? He says, if the poetry does not come naturally, okay, to a poet, like the leaves comes on the branches of the tree, okay, because this is a natural process that leaves come to a tree, okay. So if the poetry does not come like that natural process to a poet, so it means that it is better not to come at all. He has means a poet does not have any right to write poetry. So this quote is fit on the William Shakespeare as well, because he has proved this very well that his poetry, his writing style, his dramas, his playwrights are like are like natural process, like leaves to a tree. So indeed, William Shakespeare is a great poet of his time. Thanks immensely for watching this video lecture, and stay connected with my YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe, like, share, and comment on my YouTube channel. It will enhance my spirit, and you will see new videos in the upcoming days. Thank you.